All right, it is keto dinner recipe time. I'm going to be using a recipe out of the Keto Reset Diet book, which I can link in the description. This one is called Chicken or Turkey Broccoli Casserole, and it's great if you're craving something that tastes, like traditional home cooking. And you can use either chicken or turkey, you can use frozen or fresh vegetables, etc. So I'm going to show you the ingredients and then I'm going to get into the food prep. So I have all the ingredients out here. One of my favorite chicken to use is the Real Good chicken. These are already seasoned chicken breast chunks. These are high quality, gluten-free, no added sugar, nothing artificial. And then as you can see here, we have our broccoli, we have mushrooms, which I'm gonna slice, eggs, chicken broth, garlic minced, butter, coconut milk. We have some avocado oil, the seasonings and spicings, also marinated artichoke hearts. That will be new for me to use. Nutmeg, pepper, and Parmesan. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to kind of roast the broccoli. So I'm going to prepare that and get that ready to go in the oven, and then I'll come back to this. Okay, so now we have washed our broccoli. We have chopped it up. I use fresh broccoli, and I have my 2 cups of florets here. I'm going to be adding 2 tablespoons of avocado oil. And I love this little holder. It just keeps it all fresh and easy to use. We're going to add our avocado oil. And then we're going to toss this around a little bit. Try to coat it with the avocado oil so when we put it on the baking sheet, it's ready to go. Do a little tossing. Mix it up real good. All right. Then I'm going to go ahead and put this on the baking sheet, just like that. Just spread it out a little bit. 2 cups is not really as much as I thought it was going to be honest. So now we're going to add some sea salt on here on top. I personally like a lot of salt. If you have cardiac issues or reasons you have to keep your sodium low, then you definitely want to go a little light on this. And then the instructions say to roast it in the oven. I'll come back and put in the recipe exactly how long we are to roast it in the oven. I'm assuming that's just to give it flavor before we start mixing everything together. We are back and we have browned up the mushrooms and the garlic in the butter. Next, we're adding the chicken and the artichoke. One thing the recipe said we want to make sure of, the chicken has to be cooked. So whatever you're using, whether it's canned, frozen, and you make it from scratch, your chicken has to be already cooked when it goes in here, because really we're just warming it and putting it all together. So we're going to be cooking down the chicken, the artichokes, which this is the first for me. I don't normally cook with artichokes. Garlic and mushrooms together until they get nice and cooked through, or I guess integrated well. And then we're going to be setting that aside to prepare everything else before it goes in the oven. So I'll be back with that. Next step, I have turned the heat down, and now we're going to be stirring in the broccoli that we roasted in the oven, if you recall. Now we're stirring that in. The heat has been reduced. The oven has been reduced on temperature, and now we're going to go prepare the liquid portion and come right back. All right, so we're on the step of putting together the more liquid part. So first up is a cup of coconut milk. Now this is honestly my first time cooking with this. It came out of a can. I've heard it does amazing things, and it's used often in the keto diet. So we're going to go with a cup of that. We're going to go with a cup of chicken broth. And of course, you can use all organic everything if you want. It depends on our budget. Sometimes I have it and sometimes I don't. Then we have 2 eggs. Put those in. The whole egg, doesn't say otherwise. And then we have a 1/2 teaspoon. That's a tablespoon. Hold on a sec. Find the right one here. Here it is. 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. I don't know why, I'm just following the recipe. and about another half a teaspoon of salt. Okay, now we have to whisk. I'm gonna grab my whisk. Here, I have to whisk it up, which I am quite certain this will get messy and might take me a moment. Oh, but it's whisking. That's good. The coconut milk is starting to break up, which is good. That was probably the heaviest thing in here. And so the chicken broth is helping it do that, as are the eggs. And then I'm assuming the spices are just going to be in here. I'm really excited to see how this goes with what we've already got before we put it in the oven. And then when it's all done, we get to coat it with some Parmesan. So I'm really excited to see how this turns out. I think we're whisking it pretty good. It didn't really say we're supposed to get out all the lumps, but I'm assuming that we are, since the coconut milk was a little bit dense. I think I got it. All right, here comes the exciting part, putting it all together. This is our chicken broccoli casserole. It's supposed to be taste like a home-cooked meal at the end. I'm really excited about it. So now I have already greased my casserole dish with some olive oil. It said avocado, but I didn't want to pour that in and mess with it, so I just used my olive oil spray. And so then we're supposed to take all of this, spread it out into the casserole dish. Remember, this is our artichoke, mushrooms, chicken, garlic, and broccoli. Already looks good. All kind of meshed together, so that looks wonderful. Then we're going to take our liquid that we just whisked up, which is our coconut milk, our chicken broth, or you can't see, egg, which I'm assuming will give it a nice little crust, seasonings. Oh, this is going to be really interesting how it cooks up. And after it's been in there for 30 minutes, we take it out and we put some Parmesan on top and we bake it a little bit longer. So I'm excited. So I'm going to put it in the oven now and come back in 30 minutes. Or I might do it after I put the Parmesan on and then show you what it looks like when we're done. It cooks unevenly. And then I'm going to add all the Parmesan that it calls for here, which is a lot, without hopefully touching anything hot. Probably next time I would recommend taking it out to do this rather than risking burning myself, but we're just doing it this way for now. Might add more Parmesan when we're all done. It is out of the oven, and now it has to rest for 5 to 10 minutes. I want to comment on this recipe a little bit because I am not a gourmet by any stretch of the imagination. I really don't always enjoy cooking. I am cooking more when I'm trying to eat keto or low carb because it takes a little bit of effort. It's really hard to find anything, even in the frozen section of the grocery store, that is really low carb. Also, that's all processed. So at least if you do it at home, you can control how much processed food you eat. You can still choose how you're getting your chicken, things like that. But I did buy, the fresh produce and put that in, real butter, things like that. So my first time to use coconut milk in a recipe. So we'll see how I like this. I'll do a taste test after it sets for 5 to 10 minutes, it said. And personally, I feel like this is a complete meal because it has plenty of vegetables in it and it has plenty of protein. And so, and almost very little carbs. I can't even think of one thing that's in there that has carbs, anything that you can really count. So I'll let you know how it tastes.